So today I think I am going to tell you about the time that me and a couple of other people from my class had a pretty amazing pillow fight. So this story starts off in school when me and a bunch of my other classmates were supposed to have Irish, just like you guys might learn maybe Spanish or French or something like some other language, and then English obviously. I was supposed to have Irish. So we were supposed to be going to Irish, but instead our Irish teacher was, I don't know if she was looking after, but I don't know, maybe she was looking after or maybe she was teaching some other students, so she sent us into this room that we have in our school called the friendship room, which is apparently supposed to be a room where people just go, I suppose, and chill out. So we went into this room while she was looking after some other people, and kind of in the year I'm in school, a lot of kind of like activities are happening. So there's this thing called mini company where you kind of set up your own little business and compete against other schools in some kind of like, I don't know, businessy type trade fair type thing. And then on top of that, we're also doing a play in school, you know, just a regular play. I'm fairly sure you all know what a play is. So there was only maybe, I'm gonna guess, probably 10 or 12 of us. So we head into this room, and probably for the first 5 or 10 minutes that we're sitting there, we're just happy, we're chilling out, you know, everyone's chatting. And in this room, it has like this kind of bluish carpet. There's a lot of couches and pillows, a lot of small portable pillows. Now after 5 or 10 minutes of being calm in the room, all of a sudden someone tosses up a pillow. Now I can't remember if they threw the pillow at someone or if they were just tossing it up for the sake of tossing it up. But after that, all hell broke loose. So we all just start picking up these piles of pillows that we had next to each other and just flinging them at each other. We're like going at it for 5 minutes straight, and then all of a sudden we stop for some reason. Everyone just chills out and we stop for about a minute or two, and then we start going again for another 5 minutes. Then after that we chilled out for another minute or two, and then 3 girls from our class who were off doing the play, they came in, and then we just started throwing them again, except this time it lasted for about 20 minutes. We were just flinging them across the room, like ganging up on people. I had no regards for anything. Like, for the most part, I was just throwing them as hard as I can and hoping it hit someone. One of my friends who was actually in a video I uploaded a while back, his name is Warrior Otto. He was in a Black Ops 2 video I uploaded maybe a few months ago. He was actually the guy who was across the room. Like, I was in the bottom right hand corner, he was in the top left, and for the most part, like, he was kind of the person I was aiming at. We were both just throwing him across the room to each other, or at each other. Anyways, after maybe 15 or 20 minutes, the teacher who was supposed to be teaching us Irish was actually in the room next door to us, so she could probably hear us like just screaming really, well, we weren't screaming, but she could probably hear us yelling pretty loudly and getting all excited or whatever. She actually burst through the door, and right as she came in through the door, I flung a pillow as hard as I could across the room, and it smacked off the wall right as she came in. Now, thankfully she didn't think that I was the only one who was throwing pillows. She knew that everyone was throwing pillows, or everyone was messing, so she didn't just look at me and give out to me only. She looked at everyone and, you know, gave out to everyone. So she comes in and she starts giving out to me, and I was sort of out of breath from laughing so much when we were throwing the pillows that when she came into the room, whenever I tried to take a deep breath or whatever to catch my breath, I could not help but laugh. And in all my 12 or 13 years of being in school, I've never been in a serious situation in which I've laughed. Somehow, every time I've been getting given out to, even though I don't get given out to that much because I try to stay out of trouble, but every time I have been in a situation where the teacher has been given out to me or a group, I've always managed to keep my cool and not laugh. But this time I just couldn't. I just could not help but laugh. Now, I didn't just burst out laughing as hard as I could. I was just kind of doing the laugh, you know. I was just kind of like this, trying to hold back my laughter, like hold my smile behind my mouth. And I was making the laugh that, you know, you kind of laugh through your nose, or you kind of go that probably sounded really weird, but you know what I'm on about. The laugh you make where you just kind of breathe through your nose, or you kind of, you can just make short breaths through your nose, I guess, when you're trying to hold in a laugh, but you're still laughing. Anyway, I start doing that, and I'm not sure if she hears me or not, but I do that for 5 seconds before my friend, who I was telling you about earlier, across the room starts laughing. Now, thankfully, he starts laughing louder than me, and he's also closer and more in her field of view than I am, so that she gives out to him instead of me for laughing. And I was honestly so relieved that she gave out to him. Like, you know, it kind of sucked that he got given out to or whatever, but you know, if she was to give out to me, right? If she was to pick on me for being the one who to laugh, there was no way I was going to be able to keep my cool. I would have laughed out loud, and she would have gotten so mad and definitely done something about me, like sent me up to the principal's office or something. So she was just kind of saying, oh, do you think this is funny or whatever? And after he got given out to, she leaves the room. She eventually, you know, like leaves the room after she thinks she's given out to us enough. So she leaves the room and the door is closing, right? Now, it's not just like, we don't have those doors that you close by yourselves. We have the doors with the kind of like automatic close system on top so that you can leave the door and it'll slowly start closing by itself. So she ends up leaving, she leaves the door to close by itself or whatever, and the door is slowly closing, and before it closes fully, we all burst out laughing. Yeah, we all just start laughing as hard as we can. So she comes back in because we were laughing too hard, and you know, obviously she heard us and she was like, oh no, I ain't having none of this. So she comes back in and we're just laughing really hard, and she kind of picks on the first person she can see, which is actually the Spanish student who was in her class for the year. And you know, he's very dramatic. I don't know how to put it, but he's a very dramatic kind of guy. I'd say he'd be pretty good in theater, or you know, he'd be a pretty good theater or movie person, actor, that's the word. So she comes in and the first person she sees is him. So she says, do you think this is funny? And his reaction is just, what? So she just says, do you think this is funny? And he goes, what? It kind of reminded me of like the minion from Despicable Me, you know, the guy who just says, what? That's honestly what it reminded me of. It was just so funny. And you know, after that, I start laughing again, and I look back over at my friend, and I can see him. He sees me laughing, and I know that he is dying to laugh, but obviously, you know, we're trying not to laugh because we're getting given out to again. So eventually, after giving out to us for a second time, she leaves, and we manage to hold in our laughter, obviously, until the door closes. And yeah. Anyway, that is all for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe if you're new here. And also, I'm not sure if you knew this, but see this little banner above me? I'm not really sure what way I should be pointing in order to point to it. But I do have a Twitter, which I stay quite active on. If I ever don't upload a video, I normally have the reason as to why on there. So if you want to go ahead and follow me there, I'd really much appreciate it. That would be pretty cool. I'm almost at 150 followers, so maybe you could be the 150 follower, or maybe the under 150 follower club. Anyways, thanks for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.